So I've worked with a lot of clients with eating disorders, bulimia, anorexia, and I've learned certain things. And I've also had my own struggles with the bulimia part of the eating disorder, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But what I want to know, or what I've learned actually, and what I know now, and what I've learned from working with people that have either anorexia or bulimia, it's really interesting. The people that show up with anorexia are the people that want to starve themselves of anything good. That's what I've seen. They don't want to receive, and they don't believe that they should receive. So you could be anorexic with food and an eating disorder, or you could be anorexic with money. You could be anorexic with pleasure. You can be anorexic with clothes. You can be anorexic with friends. You could be anorexic with your music business or your writing business. You never let yourself receive the gift and the brilliance and the possibility that's actually inherent in your gift. You won't even entertain it, and you starve yourself from it. And that's one version on the anorexic side. And then that starvation comes off, let's say, on your body sometimes for the ones that have the anorexic eating disorder. And they also, what I've seen, and you know this probably from your own education about anorexia, is that when you're looking in a mirror, they're actually seeing themselves probably 10 times larger than they actually are. And there's really and in both of them, which I'll get into bulimia in a moment, body dysmorphic disorder. That's what that is. You look in the mirror and you see something different than what's actually there, but not just different, significantly different, as if you have a whole different set of eyes looking at yourself. Now, bulimia, and I don't mean to separate them because there are similarities with eating disorders. Bulimia, what I found with the clients that I worked with, that the binging and purging syndrome is more like, I'm feeling good, everything's really, really good, and I'm gonna stuff myself with Domino's pizza and then vomit it out because I don't like the way that I feel now that I'm so full and I can't breathe, but also now I'm afraid I'm putting on weight because now I feel how much I've eaten. So I was feeling good, but now I'm feeling bad because I actually can't feel good, which is kind of similar to the other. So I'm gonna vomit it out because I'm actually really bad, even though I was feeling good. Then you have the other side of it sometimes with bulimia is you're feeling really bad, you're feeling shame, like damaged goods, defective in some way, that the best you could offer the world is to be on the discount shelf, and you're defective in some way. And the only way that you can actually alleviate that feeling is by stuffing yourself into oblivion and then vomiting it out because it's hurting you, hurting your insides. And that's what you want. It's like another version of cutters. The only way that they can feel is to cut themselves, even though it's leaving scars and creating problems and maybe even infection. It just makes them feel better. The binging and the purging bulimic, it makes them feel better. On either end, even if they were feeling good, they can't feel good, so they have to stuff themselves to feel bad because innately they feel evil, wrong, bad, terrible, awful, unlovable, unworthy. Or if they're feeling good, they still feel evil, wrong, bad, terrible, and they have to stuff themselves and make themselves sick because they actually really believe that they're sick. Or because they believe that they're sick, they have to get rid of the feeling, and the physiological and physical act of vomiting gets rid of the feeling until the next time. It's cyclical. Then let's go back to the anorexic, who is starving themselves, but they're looking in the mirror and they don't see themselves starving, but what they're starving themselves of is love, deserving, receiving, worth. That's how it kind of ties. Goodness, joy, mercy, gratitude. Can't have it at all. You know, my father wasn't an anorexic, but he couldn't keep his money at all. He had to give it away. And he would literally say, I would like to see what you all do with it. I don't want anybody to struggle. And he died with nothing. That was his own financial anorexia, which is a whole different take than eating disorders. But going back to the anorexic or the bulimic, what I have found is that there's always a belief system guiding the act and the psychological disorder of either one. And the belief system has something to do with I'm evil, I'm bad, I'm wrong, I'm terrible, I'm awful, I'm a shame, I'm a mistake, I'm unworthy, and I'm unlovable. And I've had a lot of success with people identifying those beliefs and going to the origin of the first time that you've had that desire to either starve yourself or binge and purge. And we found those beliefs I've mentioned always in the past, usually in their childhood, usually around puberty years. And what got locked in was the situation that was going on around the person, which became, as the adult, their disorder. So they carried that situation unprocessed, and they process it out through anorexia or bulimia. So if we can target the belief system, we can process where the disorder is coming from and get the order back into their life, which what I mean by order is the power and the potency and the intimacy with themselves as the truth of who they be. All of us are lovable. All of us are a gift. All of us deserve not only some good, but all.